Hey everybody, this is Sage Valentine, aka Etherblade, and this is my review of The Walking Dead, Season 4, Episode 15, Us. Ain't nothing sadder than a house cat thinking it's an indoor cat. That's the one quote of this episode that stuck out in my mind, and it eventually comes back up as we go along with the episode. Normally I sit down, I do my notes and my reviews, but after watching once and then watching half the time, I think I pretty much got it. Okay. Tara feels like she owes Glen. Now, we all know the role that she played in the governor's second big attack against the prison. Tara believes, I guess, that if she wasn't a part of that, the governor wouldn't have killed Herschel, and she feels like because she didn't say anything, it was just like her basically taking Michonne's knife and cutting his neck. Abraham kind of picks up on this in the beginning, because before this even happens, this happens like when they're stopped by the railroad tracks. Before this happens, Tara's walking with Eugene. Eugene, for whatever reason, cannot stop talking. He just keeps on talking about all this stuff, which it gives me the impression that he carries a torch for Tara, but we all know she doesn't play for that team. And if anybody garnered that type of attention and that type of love from her, I'd say Glen would be the easier one since she's following him. I'm just saying. So she picks up some type of thing, which Eugene explains if they added like aluminum foil and something else, it would spark and become like a light. And it would become like a battery. And Eugene said, if you're able to get that started, we will share the battery life with you and blah, blah, blah. Like, Eugene seems like, even though I know what I said in previous videos, Eugene seems like a pretty nice guy in this episode. Do I believe in his in-game, his mission? Hell no. I think, and I kind of know what's going to happen, but I honestly believe that Eugene is trying to save his own ass. This is me. Could there be a cure to this? Maybe, you never know. It depends on Robert Kirkman, but I honestly don't think Eugene knows, or maybe he thinks he knows. Go figure. So, Tara looks and she sees a sign, and then Glen sees that same sign, and they see that Maggie has signed it in dried blood under Sasha and Bob, so I guess they were just there and they left. So Glen goes off running, and Abraham's just like, oh, Jesus, and the rest of them just follow behind, and then we get the opening credits. Then we get to the scene that I was just discussing about Abraham. Abraham basically peeped Tara's whole card. He not only knows that she's doing it for Glen because she feels like she owes him, but at first he figured it was because she had feelings for him. However, he saw how she was looking at Rosita's boobs, because they're kind of out there anyway, so he realized that she's a lesbian. He even spoke of Eugene looking at Rosita as well, but I'm just like, Eugene is undercover something else. Like, Eugene, I don't know what's going on with Eugene. Eugene is hiding something in that. Like I said, I wonder what his plan is. I would love to know. Hopefully by the end of this, maybe if we don't get to this by next episode, maybe in the next season, they'll explain to us what his end game is, like what is his plan and what exactly does he know, because everybody's asking and he's not saying it. So, I mean, if it's that classified, like, you should be able to tell somebody. Even Abraham doesn't know, and I'm wondering why Abraham's following this, but I digress. The gentlemen who are all together, the ones that were in the house with Rick, whom some people think are the Marauders, some people think they're the Hunters. I have a slight idea who they are, but I'm not going to ruin it for people. I'm just going to let you go ahead, because like I said in previous videos, at Comic-Con they explained who was coming. I have an idea who these guys are, but until they say who it is, I'm not going to tell you and spoil it for you guys. Not going to do it. Daryl is out hunting while these guys are all sleeping, and this walker comes walking up, and like he drags his side of his face on some barbed wire, and of course I'm sitting there and I'm eating like a burger, like a garden burger, and I'm just like trying not to puke at looking at the side of his face like ripped up. But the guys are able to get them, and then they notice that Daryl is gone. So then they're all like, well, he probably went to drop a deuce, poop in other words, but Daryl's not doing that. He's hunting a rabbit. And this guy Lynn, who's been a pain in the ass since he first appeared in I think it was it last episode? Yeah, last episode before last. No, it was last episode. That guy Lynn. He's just a pain in the ass, and he's like coming, and he sees that Daryl's trying to get this rabbit, and Daryl's very like skilled, and he's a great hunter. Merle taught him well, and he learned from the land, but this guy has no je ne sais quoi, no finesse in any of his hunts. As Daryl unleashes his arrow, this fool does it as well, and it says claimed. I don't give a damn who claims what. That was Daryl's rabbit, but again, this crazy group has their own little ideas of stuff. So there was like a little tussle between Lynn and Daryl, and they're talking to each other. And Lynn starts bringing up, you're just mad because of, like, I guess a piece of ass or something, and she probably got away, and was it a little one? And I was like, what? Was it a little one? Because, you know, they don't last long out here. I was like, what do you mean they don't last long? Like, what the hell? Do you have sex with those children or those teenagers or whatever, then you kill them? Ugh. Lynn is just, like, makes my skin crawl. And he gets kind of under Daryl's skin. So Daryl's about to pull out his knife. And thank you, Joe. Joe comes out of nowhere. And Joe grabs like, no. He's like, calm down. No need to pull out weapons. And he basically resolves everything because Lynn wants Daryl to get in trouble because Daryl didn't give up the rabbit like the little boy Lynn is. And Joe basically resolves it by cutting the rabbit in half. But before doing so, he says something along the lines of, we have rules out here, and whoever says claim, they have it. Now, I should reprimand you for this, but you didn't know, so I'm not going to. So in that sense, Joe is very reasonable in that sense. But I haven't seen his crazy, so I'm not going to say he's not crazy. But in that sense, he's extremely reasonable. Okay. Lynn is still kind of salty because they didn't do what he wanted them to do. I'm like, Lynn, go on. Bye. Goodbye. So, Joe, he seems like he really likes Daryl. And I'm wondering, why does he like Daryl? What is it about Daryl that he likes? And I'm starting to realize that Lynn was a pedophile and nasty as I don't know what. And the guy says something about, when Joe mentions claim, Daryl says, I ain't claiming nothing. I said, there's that defiant Daryl Dixon. I said, that Merle Dixon streak coming out. Like I said, Joe seems fair. So he cuts it in half and gives Daryl the ass in, and he said, ass in is still an in. So everything Joe says seems to be making sense, like it's very philosophical. So I guess you like take life as it is, you're still here, basically. So Rick is walking with Michonne and Carl, who have a bet to see who will fall off the railroad track, because it's like Carl on one side, Michonne's on the other side. She tries to cheat, she pushes him off, and she loses. So then she's supposed to give Carl her candy, and she figures Carl will take the red one, but he takes the other one. She said he was like, no, it's winner's choice. Meanwhile, Rick is smiling up a storm. Raccoon, guys, I see you. Yes, this is a Raccoon episode. Even though they only have this little tiny scene, this is a Raccoon episode. Definitely for that one scene. Dixon will have his day. Not sure about Bethel, because it's not looking good for Beth. Carol might, but then I don't know. With this Terminus mess, I have no idea. So, Rick is, like I said, he's smiling up a storm, and then Carl shares the candy with him. He says, we always share. I said, Raccoon, I see you. Eugene, Rosita, Glen, and Daryl come upon this tower. And, Glen is like gung-ho to find Maggie, and I understand, like, he's got to find Maggie. My whole thing with that is that he's seeming to defy, like, common sense to the point where it's like, gotta find Maggie, gotta find Maggie, no sleep, gotta find Maggie, gotta find Maggie. And it's like, what they don't realize is they're behind them maybe by a mile or so. But even so, like, it's making it's causing a wear and tear on the group. Like, they're not getting a lot of sleep, they're not doing stuff, and they're just kind of out of it. So Abraham says, hold up, we're stopping here. He was like, tired is slow, slow is dead. Glen wants to keep on going. Abraham said, no, we should stop and rest, it looks safe. The fool did not check this tower, and they hear a growl, and all of a sudden this walker comes falling off the tower. Now, I know Abraham had to protect Eugene, but it's like Abraham protected him, and when he moved back, he pushed Tara. Tara fell, and it looks like she hurt her ankle or her shin. So she's like limp along Cassidy, basically. So, Glen had to help her up, but rather than helping her up and asking how she's doing, he's like, are you okay? Do you want to stay here? Do you want to go? And it's like, even if she is, even if she is down to, help you, Glen, like, at least you could see how she's doing. Is she alright? Does she need time to stop? No, she says she's fine. She keeps going because she still believes that she owes him something. So, Rosita's just over it, and Rosita's like, stop being an ass. She was like, she was just like, because basically Rosita was looking at him funny, and then Eugene was like, and I think Abraham might have, but they didn't show Abraham. And Rosita was like, stop being an ass. Like, she's hurt. She's doing whatever she can, to make up to, she feels like she owes you something. And when she tried to say something again, Abraham kind of stops her. But I wish Abraham had just let her keep going and get that out. Because I really wanted to see where Rosita was going to stay besides that. I love Glen, though, but Glen is going on the whole Ichabod Crane, Katrina Crane thing on Sleepy Hollow. If you don't watch that show, you understand what I'm saying. But if you watch it, you understand. If you don't watch Sleepy Hollow, you understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Glen wants all of them to either go or stay put. Rosita tries to, stop them, but not listening. They keep going. Okay. Joe's asking about Daryl's in-game, his plan. Daryl's like, listen, I'm with you, then I'm going to find it myself. I'm not dealing with this, whatever, what have you. Okay. So, he mentioned something about Daryl becoming part of us, their group. Daryl's apprehensive because Daryl misses the group, and he knows as soon as that group comes on, he can go back. But Joe doesn't want him to leave. Why? Not sure. I think it goes even beyond him actually liking Daryl. So he was basically telling him, people don't have to be friendly. Follow the rules. No stealing or death or lying. Then Joe